Man's decomposed body found in Manchester. Police in Manchester are probing the circumstances surrounding the death of a 27-year-old man after his decomposed body was found in Albion on Sunday afternoon. Relatives identified the man as Akeem Robinson, otherwise called Musso, a resident of Albion District. Relatives say Robinson wasn't seen for days and he didn't show up for work. His cousin Patrick White said about 4 p.m. on Sunday, a family friend kicked off the door to Robinson's one-bedroom dwelling and saw his decomposed body on the bed. My neighbor called me and told me that they just found his body over there, so is somebody who is responsible for the place was sent to come and see him. Robinson, he lived alone, stated Wright. Robinson's family suspect that a medical condition may have resulted in his death. He met in a bike accident some years ago and fell in a coma for several weeks. When he woke up, he started to have seizures, so he had seizures quite often, stated Wright. Police have since cordoned off the area and are waiting for an autopsy to determine the cause of death. Man found dead in Dempsey in Catherine. The police are investigating the death of a man whose body was found in Dempsey Spanish Town, St. Catherine on Friday. The deceased has been identified as 23-year-old laborer John M. McDermott of a Spanish Town, St. Catherine address. Passerbys reported they stumbled upon McDermott's body about 6:10 a.m. in the vicinity of the Dempsey Early Childhood Center. They summoned the police. Upon their arrival, the police observed what appeared to be gunshot wounds to his body. The Spanish Town Criminal Investigations Branch is conducting a probe of the matter. National Security Minister says more gunmen resorting to contract killings as lawmen continue to crack down on gangs. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang says more gunmen are resorted to contract killings as lawmen continue to crack down on gangs and gang-related activities. Dr. Chang explains that with gangsters being highly targeted and caught by cops, more gunmen are limiting their averted participation in gangs out of fear that they too will be caught. This, he says, has resulted in more criminals entering the business of contract killing. Dr. Chang notes, however, that the security forces are continuing their efforts to tackle contract killing, which he says are being carried out by more seasoned criminals.
Part of the success in getting the killers and disrupting the gangs is that more people who are still involved will resort to contract killing. In fact, it is now said in places like some of the really hot areas that young people are saying there's no attraction in becoming a Don again. That there is strong argument on the ground in the most difficult areas. St. Catherine, through, I think we have shifted in Montego or something, that there is no value in becoming a Don because the police have been finding them and hitting on them. So that results to a system of business killing, literally. Shooters tend to take on the police and they get killed. But if you look at the data this year, I know the ages, far less young people who have been involved. In fact, I think last year, this time, the number of people in the late teens were about 20%. It's now below 10%. It tells you that the gangsters are on the back foot. It's more people who are hard criminals, who are professional contract killers that are out there. The police is getting them. So the younger group not willing to follow.
Police Commissioner says JCF progressing steadily to dismantle contract killing network. The Jamaica Constabulary Force is progressing steadily in its efforts to dismantle contract killing networks across the country. Police Commissioner Dr. Kevin Blake notes that in the past few years, there has been a relative increase in contract killings, but his team will not relent in bringing those involved to justice. Dr. Blake says deep investigations have been launched and strong cases are being built against high-risk targets despite the challenges.
We have to look at the network. One of the things about contract killing, it has its complexity because of the perpetrators being away from the crime itself, but there's a nucleus that we can focus on, single individuals and stuff like that. And so we talk about a focused deterrent strategy. A focused deterrent strategy is where you throw your resources around the highest risk targets. And so if a man is a shooter and he only shoots when he gets a contract from someone, but you have 10 such persons like that getting contract from a particular individual, then it's either we look at those individuals who are shooting if you have a limited resource, or you throw your limited resource around this individual who gets the contract and issues the contract. And so that's the approach that we're taking, and that's why you find, even though relatively speaking over the last couple of years it is on the rise, at this point that we are making some steady headways building cases around them. So I want to refer to it as the progress that we're making in pulling down that network.
Driver who allegedly used car to fatally injure a man during dispute charged with murder. A 27-year-old truck driver and his representative has been charged with the murder committed in 2021 during a dispute. He is Joel Needham of Golden Grove District, St. Catherine. He is accused of the murder of 22-year-old Joel Walker, a former of Golden Grove District. The Gainesville police say about 1:30 p.m. on September 25, 2021, an argument occurred between Walker and one of Needham's relatives in the community. Needham reportedly intervened in the dispute and used his Toyota Probox motor vehicle to hit Walker, inflicting several injuries. Walker was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Following an investigation, Needham was apprehended and charged. His court date is being finalized. Dads urged to play active role in pregnancy. The head of the neonatal program has expressed pleasant surprise over the high number of Jamaican fathers who consistently attend her 6-week course along with their partner, and is urging more men to take up the mantle. I think traditionally, men always thought that pregnancy is a woman's thing and the baby thing is a woman thing. That change that really happens from the beginning of the class to the end of the 6th week is that the dads become more empowered, noted Dr. Gardner Mitchell, the chief executive officer and founder of Bam Moms Club. Because what happened with them now is that they know how they can actually become a more active part of the pregnancy, she explained. Dr. Gardner Mitchell spoke to reporters that issues of absent fathers and male support during pregnancy, revealing that in her experience, there is a significant interest from fathers. We see a lot of dads, and that was very surprising to us because when we first started, we were not expecting that. About 80-90% of the dads come in and they're active, especially to the in-person class, she explained, adding a lot of dads actually make initial contact as well to sign up for their spouses, and they are very engaging and interactive during the course. During the classes, the men are exposed to proper breastfeeding techniques, lessons on pumping breast milk, pushing for delivery, how to identify pregnancy complications, and more. Gardner Mitchell says the men learn the course much more secured in their role. While sharing anecdotes of the bond between father and moms in her class as they learn, Gardner Mitchell admitted that this attitude did not necessarily represent the majority of Jamaican fathers, cautioning that the men there had made conscious choices to become present fathers. I'm not going to vouch for every man because we do know that we have fatherlessness in Jamaica. Let's not make any mistake. But my point is that there are still good men and that they are very supportive, she stated. When questioned on how to engage more Jamaican men in the process of pregnancy and in their role as fathers, Gardner Mitchell said that just because the men weren't pushing didn't mean that there was no place for them. Education is power, and I feel like, this is just a wealth of information. Right now, even on the internet, even though it can be a lot, but try to read as much as possible and get as much information as possible about all the aspects of pregnancy and what mommy is going through. Know that there's a lot that you can do as a dad. It's not just to pay the money, she advised. The doctor added that taking part in the pregnancy process could help reduce instances of fatherlessness locally. When you're part of the process, because you saw the process went, you are able to build a bond, you're empowered, and you feel confident to continue being a part of them growing and being a part of the family and being there for the kids through their childhood, to see their teens, to see their adulthood, she maintained. Bamman Club was started by Gardner Mitchell to provide support and information from experts to pregnant women and their support system in their 2nd to 3rd trimesters. To subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.